Alright, good evening everybody. We are back once again, and now my aim is to make 3 hours of video streaming on Gate. So let's get this thing started. We have basic English grammar, basic vocabulary, quantitative aptitude. Yeah, it seems coherent. But Kash is, yeah, I think we have that. Consensus theorem. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, okay. Okay, well, this is something that takes a lot of time, obviously. Wow. Wow, I mean. So what's our objective today? Let's clearly define our objective. I should be able to complete verbal aptitude, quantitative aptitude, analytical and spatial aptitude. I think I can complete that. Having said that, what is tense? Types, definitions, examples. Earlier, we have already discussed how important tenses are in English grammar, as the very basis of English grammar is built on tenses. Once you complete the tenses, then you will understand every part and use of tenses. You already know that there are three tenses: past, present, and future, and four kinds of each tense. That is indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Now, the present tense has been explained in the first part of the article, and here we are going to cover the past and future tenses. I think there is some predecessors and successors to this article, but it's alright. Tense is a grammatical concept that indicates the time of action or event. Tense provides temporal information and enables us to express actions that have happened in the past, are happening in the present, or will happen in the future. Tense is in English grammar is the form of the verb which shows the time when a specific event has happened or is going to happen. Basically, tense denotes the characteristics of the verb in a sentence. Tense definition: tense is defined as any of the forms of a verb that may be used to show the time of the action or state expressed by the verb. According to Merriam-Webster dictionary, tense is defined as a distinction of form in a verb to express distinctions of time or duration of the action or state it denotes. Okay, yeah. These are definitions according to Oxford Dictionary, Cambridge, and Collins, but we have gotten an idea. Why tenses are important to learn. In English language, tenses are considered the most important and integral parts of speech. Without tenses, every sentence is illogical. In order to frame a sentence and convey the information clearly, we need to learn the correct use of tenses in a sentence. Tenses help us to communicate effectively and express the context of the information. There are three tenses in English grammar. Come on. There are three primary verb tenses: past, present, and future. Each tense is further divided into. How many times is he going to say the same thing over and over? Right, I go to school, I am going to school, he has played football, he has been playing football, I went to school, I was going to school. Okay, maybe we should read the rules. Alright. Explained in GFG article. I don't need this. What the heck? No. I use past tense to describe an action that has happened in the time before the present. The tense has four aspects. Adverbs of the past, like yesterday, ago, last week, etc., are used in this sentence to describe old habits. Rita always carried an umbrella with her. Yeah. To show progressive action, I was watching the flower pots during the coffee break. To show a persistent habit, Sharon was always complaining. You don't like think of these rules, but you know, to describe an action that has happened, complete. Right, to describe which tense, past perfect tense, to describe an action that had been completed way before a particular moment in the past. We had seen the man for the last 3 years before. Used along the simple past to show the action that has happened first in the series. The patient had died before the doctor reached. Okay. To indicate an action started in the past, continued up to a point in the past. When Alfred joined the company, Robin had been working there for 5 years. He had been playing football. When Alfred joined the company, Robin had been working there for 5 years. Yes, that makes sense. Like Alfred joined in sometime in the past, and by the time Alfred joined, Robin was already working in the company for 5 years. If I were to elaborate, they okay, he will play football to refer to the obvious events to happen in the future. Timur will turn 19 next year. I have heard that word somewhere. I'm sure our school will win the competition to predict a future event. I'm sure, I think, probably, I believe, etc. are used in such sentences. There is no sign of a stormy cloud. I will not take the umbrella with me to show an action that we have decided to do in that instant. Okay, he will be playing football. To refer the progressive action of the future in the future, the action will continue to exist at the point in time. Example, at this time next week, I will be traveling home. Progressive action in the future. Future continuous, yes. By this time next year, I would be studying in an IIT. Okay, that is not the case because I need to complete my fourth year. That's another thing. To show a planned and expected event in the future, my mother will be visiting me during the Diwali holidays. Planned and expected event in the future, okay? He will have played football, okay? To show that an action will be completed by a certain point in the time in the future. By next week, Suhana will have shifted to her new flat in Noida. Future actions that will happen with certainty. I will have done that. Alright. Will have. I would have done better. Okay. We are going into modal verbs now. That's different. Future perfect continuous tense, even though it is not frequently used, we use it to illustrate events that have been happening for a while but will come to a conclusion in the future. Silky will have been living in this house for 3 years next April. Okay, by this time in the next year, she would have been staying in the house for 3 years. She loves to read books. Okay, here are just some examples, and the article is good. Okay, you need to log in, SSA English. Yep, that articles on tenses is good. Should you read articles now? In English grammar, articles are words that come before nouns to show whether the noun is specific or general. They are a type of determiner. There are two types of articles. Definite article is the, indefinite article is a or an. Definite article says the. The definite article is used before a noun to indicate that personal, certain, or formal acquaintance, which has already been discussed, and well acquainted speaker and audience. Yeah, acquaintance is something like a sort of familiarity. In other words, the uses were to denote certain metals or persons or animals. The is used with countable nouns and uncountable nouns. We use the when we talk about something that has already been referred to in the prior sentence. We use the. A cat got in honor of our a cat got in honor of our dog today. The dog wins the battle. Okay, so cat kind of hurted the ego of dog, and dog smashed the cat, something like that. Already now notes to the user. When the user already knows the thing you are talking about at such places, use the instead of describing the thing since it is known to the user. Mr. Michael is wearing a suit at the party. In this example, a person already knows about the party to which the other person is referring to in the sentence and thus use the to refer the party. Yes, at the party. We are specific about the party. We are already aware of the party. Before unique nouns, the will always refer to universal things like the sun, the moon, the Arabian Ocean, the Bermuda Triangle, the Eiffel Tower, the Himalayas, etc. All these universal things or places are certain and would not change, so you use the to refer such things. Superlative adjective. Superlative adjectives is used for definite nouns and to describe some special and unique. My mother cooks the best North Indian food in society. The best. At 3,307 feet height, Burj Khalifa Tower is the tallest tower in the world. Here, best and tallest are the superlative adjectives, and thus we use the before them. I need to get my water, or else my throat would damage. Just a second. Okay. Before adjectives are used as nouns when you are talking about some advice or duty, we use the in such places. The government should do something for the jobless people. Here, jobless people are used both as noun and adjective. That's why we used the before it. Okay, because jobless, you can exclude the people in this sentence and still get a grammatically correct sentence. Yeah. Oh shit. Proper nouns such as nation's name, plural names of nations, some titles, some associations, some structures, papers, masterpieces, explicit family names, mountains, waterways, oceans, gatherings of islands and desert that use the. Right. It is kind of the same thing as this one. Unique nouns, proper nouns, more or less the same. With nationalities, when we talk about any nationality, we must use the before it emphasize that word. The Mughals and the British controlled India for a long time. Okay. Mention the services and systems. Hey, you know what? These rules really does not matter at the end of the day because you are going to learn more from actually reading things rather than remembering rules. That is how language works. When we compare two things with each other, motivational advice or something else must be used in such a sentence. The more he works, the more he will be successful. The more we travel, the more we shall fall in love with nature. Use them for things that have been mentioned already. Use when there is something unique, even if not mentioned already. Use them when we are expressing a statement for a particular person or object. These are the basic rules, but kind of reading all of those things at the top does not bother. Indefinite articles says a or an before. It does not refer to a particular person or thing, but rather to an indefinite person or thing. Before a singular countable noun, he bought a book. A herd of cattle was grazing in the field. If the adjective or adverb plus adjective comes before noun, then a or an is used according to comes closest to what. She's a girl. She's an extremely beautiful girl. Uh-huh. If word sounds start with vowel, if word sounds start with vowel sounds, then use an. If a word sounds start with a consonant sound, then use a. He is an honest man. Honest, it's not honest. She is a university student. So you, it's not umbrella, you, right? Some words are starting with vowel letters, but it is not necessary. Its noun starts with a vowel sound. A European country, yeah, European. An hour late, okay. I saw a boy, a farmer had three sons, one or anyone. Rate, grain sells for 8 rupees a kilo. The car runs 60 kilometers an hour. A or an comes before count pointers. A couple, a dozen, 100, 1,000, etc. I have 100 rupees. He has a dozen bananas. Okay. All the boys, such a women, half an hour, double the amount. Alright. Do you think all of this is necessary right now? No, I really do not think so. I feel like we're wasting our brain time and energy on this. You are actually going to learn more from solving. Should we start with this one? $19. I see. Guess it would be better if we come from the highest ROI first. Yep, compiler design is very low weightage. I am kind of told the opposite actually. Very less. So, from where should we start? The obvious choice would be programming and data structures, and then algorithms, and then OS and DBMS. Right? After OS and DBMS, you okay? Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, and then 9. Yep, let's study year wise. So programming. So what were we actually introduced with in the first place? We were introduced with yeah. Let's kind of stick to the core right now, shall we? Alright, and C language is a popular programming language that was developed in 1970 by Dennis Ritchie Belknap's. The C programming language was developed primarily to build the Unix operating system. It is widely used because it is simple, powerful, efficient, and portable. The C programming language is rich in different types of features. Some of them are procedural language. C is a procedural language, which means the flow of execution of each statement is performed step by step. Portable source code, not platform independent. C is portable in the sense that the same source code can be compiled on different platforms, Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, with little or no modification. Fast-speed C programming language is considered as one of the fastest programming languages. C is a compiler-based language, so the program written in C language will be the fastest to be compiled. Low level. Okay, what's this sound? Okay, this one. Low-level memory management C provides a concept of pointers using which we can store memory addresses. It allows the low-level memory manipulation in the language easy to learn. C is a simple programming language that is easy to learn. Moreover, it also helps in learning other languages due to the structural similarities. Okay, any programming language is best learned by writing programs. As a tradition, we generally start programming by writing the Hello World program. After that, we study basic language concepts and keep moving to the advanced concepts. And that kind of brings me, how do you write Hello World in Flutter? Yeah, curiosity. It takes you a lot of places. Basics of file handling in C. All right. I think we should be able to complete this programming and data structures in this class, in this session today. If we really want to do it, we can do it, right? Right. Any programming language is best learned by writing programs. As a tradition, we generally start programming by the hello world program. After that, we study basic language concepts and keep moving to advanced topics. Okay. The syntax of C programming language includes various rules that define the structure of C language, such as how to specify statements, define functions, etc. A variable is a name associated with a memory location to store data. A data type is the type of data a variable can store. Some common data types in C are int, float, double, char, etc. Operators are the symbols that perform a specific operation to be performed on the operands. C supports various operators like arithmetic, relational, logical, assignment, etc. Okay. Input means reading data from the input devices or files. Output means writing the data to the console or file. C standard library provides various input and output functions. Scanf and printf are commonly used functions. Conditional statement. Conditional statements are used to control the normal flow of execution of the program. These statements are used to make decisions whether to execute a specific block of code or not based on the specific conditions. If else, if ladder, nested if else statements, conditional operators, which case statements we had those. In C, loops are used to repeatedly execute a block of code till a given condition is true. Loops are also a part of the control statement, just like conditional statement. We got for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Functions are the block of code that is used to perform a specific task. It is a set of statements enclosed within curly braces. Functions make the code more readable and improve the maintainability of the code. Predefined functions, the functions that are already defined in the C standard library, are predefined functions. User-defined functions, the functions created by the user to perform a specific task, or the user-defined functions. Pointers in C. Pointers are the variables that can store the address of other variables, functions, structures, and even other pointers. The pointer points to the memory location where the data is actually stored. Using pointers, we can access and manipulate the data by directly accessing the memory where the data is stored. Arrays in C. Array is a way of storing multiple elements of the same data type. Elements in an array are stored in contiguous memory locations, and each element in an array is accessed using an index which represents its position within the array. In C, a string is a sequence of characters enclosed within double quotes. It is stored as an array of characters terminated by a null character. For example, geeks for geeks, yes, strings. File management. File management refers to handling and manipulation of files in the C programming language. Following are the operations that can be performed on a file: creation of file, opening a file, reading the data from a file, writing data to a file, closing a file, getting the file position, deleting a file, renaming a file. Okay. Alright, that was my calling bell, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to come back after some time, people. This is a great starting point. We can read this, and then we will definitely complete this by today. And bye.